Hello and welcome to a new tutorial. This is going to be episode 1 of the Flask tutorial, which I'm going to be filming. And essentially Flask is the framework for web development that is coded through Python and HTML, and it's just really easy to create a interactive website through Flask and Python and a few other APIs, and it's just something that I think is an important skill to have, and it's one of those things that you can pick up really quickly and create your own websites. So a few things you're going to need, and these will be in the description below. You're going to need PyCharm is what I'm going to be using. PyCharm, and I'm going to be using, obviously, Python. So yes, we're going to start by downloading Python. So go ahead and do that. Make sure it's on your path. If you need more in-depth, go ahead and there's tutorials, and I'll make sure to post them. PyCharm is the IDE we're going to be using. There is a free version, so if you scroll down, just get this free open source one right here, and it's very good for making projects like this. And okay, I'm gonna go ahead and load up PyCharm. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click a new project, and for the sake of this, save it to I have a dev folder, and I'm going to open this up real quick, and go ahead, and I have a Python projects, and I'm going to create a new folder and call this Flask tutorial for now, and you can save this to Flask tutorial and new environment using our virtual env, and go ahead and let this all load up. Now that everything's loaded up, we can go ahead and check. If you hit Control-Alt+S, you can actually come into here and go to your project. Flask tutorial is what it's called for our case. Python interpreter, and there should be, you're going to look in here, and it's fine if this is selected. Python 3.9, which is what I'm using. Blank will be in the description along with PyCharm. And it should say venv, so our virtual environment. So we're just going to hit OK. Now that should be all okay. You can actually go back into PyCharm and click on your terminal. And don't mind this, I didn't mean to do that. It should just say virtual env right here to prove that you're in the virtual env. So we're going to type pip install Flask for Windows. And I think it's like pip 3 install Flask if you're on Mac OS. But on Windows, it should just be pip install Flask. So we're going to let this run, and I'll be right back. And now that all of our stuff is downloaded, we're still in our virtual environment, so we can go ahead and minimize this terminal. And yes, so you don't need to worry about this. I didn't mean to create that. Seriously. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm going to delete that actually. So you should have this virtual environment right here, and you need to install Flask. And then we're going to go ahead and add to our Flask tutorial. Just right click on this, new file. Actually, hold on. We're going to make a Python file, new Python file. And we're going to call this just like app.py. So here we go, right here. And I have it set up where I can hold control and scroll to zoom in to my text editor. So I'm going to go ahead and scroll in. And the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to import Flask. So from Flask, import Flask. So now Flask is being imported. It will say this, it has special support for Flask framework, so it knows we're using Flask. But now we have Flask, so we can actually set up our site. Okay, we're going to start right here, and we're going to do app is equal to Flask. And then in here, just do underscore underscore name underscore underscore. So go ahead and do that. Next, we're going to do at app.root, and we're just going to go like this, and we're going to go like this. So this is just going to root this for basically, it's essentially our like URL. Okay, for this next thing, we're going to do this right here. So we're going to create a function, home, and you're just going to do that and put the colon for the next line, and we're going to return something like hello world. And I think I screwed this up. It should be like this. So yeah, hello world, and now it should, on our function, on our home page, it will say return hello world. Okay, now in here we're going to type in this to run a program, python-m flask run. So we're going to click on that, and boom, there you go, environment, it's in production. It'll say some of the stuff. You don't really have to worry about that. And this is the default address that it will be running on for most people. So I'm gonna go ahead and open this up. It'll just click on it, and I actually opened it a bunch, but it shows us it's your local host, and there you go, hello world. So here is a functional working website, and over this series we'll be adding more to this and doing lots of complicated things, but this is it's a website, right? Has our local host right there, and it has the hello world. So this is a very long video, and it was very simple, but this is going to be episode 1 of just the basics of creating our Flask site. We do have a fully functional site, and we're going to start to add things to this and make it more complex and build it up to where we have a pretty cool site. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe and like the video. It really helps out a lot. And I'm trying to grow this channel and just give you guys good coding tutorials and everything. So thank you so much, and bye.